Oh, no, you don't. Look, we're sending our own army to deal with the rebels, okay? But just to be clear, we're not trying to start a fight with you, so, don't declare war on us or anything. War! We surrender! Great. And as part of the peace treaty, we get to keep these islands.
Oh my god. This is making my day.
Carthaginians were hopping mad. As if their humiliating loss in the First Punic War wasn't bad enough, the Romans now took advantage of their mercenary problem and
as one does.
Their islands. This shocking land grab was pretty hard to justify, even by Roman standards. Additionally, the Romans now demanded Carthage pay them more money on top of what was already owed. If Rome was trying to make Carthage as mad as possible, they were doing a fantastic job. The seeds of a Second Punic War were being sown, and they were being watered with Carthaginian tears. Resentment in Carthage only
look at the face of Italy.
continued to grow. Eventually, Carthage solved their mercenary problem thanks to Carthaginian military genius.
Who's that?
And hero of the First Punic War, Hamilcar Barca.
That's Hannibal's Barca's father, of course. I love the armor.
He sorted those naughty mercenaries out with some good old-fashioned atrocities, and the destructive mercenary war was over. Still, all was not well in Carthage.
By the way, since I like adding context, because at the end of the day, as we say, it's an oversimplified version, I kind of like to go a little deeper. One of the things you'll notice is that both Carthage and Rome at a political and organizational level were actually quite similar. And I will give you more details on this, so the similarities and some of the differences when it comes to the organizational structure, because I think that that would be interesting to sort of provide further context, which is what I like doing in my videos.
Decades ago, they were the top dogs in the Western Mediterranean. Now, after the crushing defeat in the First Punic War and a huge bill to pay the Romans, Carthage was well and truly under Rome's thumb. What on earth were they supposed to do? If they wanted any chance at regaining their former strength, there was one thing they needed now, more than anything. Money. But as long as they owed Rome $1 bazillion, there was nothing they could do. Fortunately for them, amongst their ranks, there was one big hunk of a man with one big clump of a brain. Me! Hamilcar Barca! Yes! Wait, why do you all have the exact same voice? I have it too! That's right. Hero of the First Punic War, greatest general alive, and the poster above my bed.
Oh, come on. Augustus should be the poster above your bed. If that's the poster above your bed, then my poster is going to be Octavianus Augustus. Let's go.
Hamilcar Barca had an idea. All right.
Grab Spain.
We need money? Well, I've got one word for you. Spain. An area...
Or should we say Iberian Peninsula for context? It's more correct.
Filled with lucrative silver mines, from which the silver would flow like a river. And our pockets would be stuffed, like Tony's mother at a buffet. Hey! So here's my proposal. What the hell? You send me with an army to Spain. I'll expand our territory, get those silver mines up and running, and we'll be able to pay the Romans back in no time. Okay. But just to check, you're not secretly raising the money to go on a bloodthirsty revenge spree against Rome, are you? Because we can't afford that. Hanno, my dear, I'm simply going to pay
them back in the...
back.
That's ingenious. It's ingenious script writing right there. This guy's good.
Well, that wasn't reassuring. Few in Carthage were as bitter about their loss in the First Punic War as Hamilcar Barca. 98% of his brain matter.
He's well represented ethnically, by the way.
Had been reallocated to thoughts of revenge. He was also fed up with the Carthaginian politicians for what he deemed a cowardly betrayal when they surrendered.
Oh wait, they're playing... That's what is it called? It's Catan. They're playing Catan. Of course they're playing Catan. I'll give you 2 sheep if you give me...
At the end of the last war. And so for Hamilcar, going to Spain meant being able to act independently from the weak Carthaginian government, building his own strength, and then perhaps somewhere down the line, revenge. However, he wasn't going to Spain by himself. Hannibal? Yes, father? Would you like to come with me to build an empire in Spain? Oh boy, would I! Barbara, mind if I take our 9-year-old son with me? I want to implant an intense hatred of Rome in him and prepare him for a glorious campaign of vengeance. Just try not to traumatize him, dear. No promises. The young boy Hannibal would accompany his father, watching,
Makes sense there. Hannibal is well represented too.
learning. Boy,
They're good.
you see that city over there? Yes, father? That is Rome. Do you know what we do to Romans? No, father. We hate them, Hannibal. We hate them with every fiber of our being. But why, father? Can't I just play with my Digimons? No, son! They took everything from us. Our land, our wealth, our pride. Those animals. I'll tear them limb from limb. I'll burn their pathetic city to the ground. Dad?
You got pretty close. I mean, to be honest, did you know that Hannibal Barca, when he does invade Rome, and there is the whole situation with the elephants, we're going to see it. I'm sure they're going to show the majority of those died, but some did crossed the Alps and did that extraordinary feat that it was. Even though he didn't sack Rome, he was in the Italian peninsula for 13 years. 13 or 14, actually. Right now, I don't remember exactly. That is insane. And the Romans couldn't kick him out until Scipio Africanus. Ooh, I'm so looking forward to that part, actually. It's probably not on part 1, I guess.
I'm sorry, son. I've just never been so proud. Keep going. I'll slaughter their people. I'll cut off their faces and wear them as masks. I love you, son. After taking Hannibal to the Temple of Baal and having him swear an oath never to be a friend of Rome, off dad and son went for their lovely beach holiday in Spain. But Spain was already inhabited by many tribespeople.
Right.
And when Hamilcar suddenly showed up in their territory, they were like, "Hey, who the hell are you? What are you doing here?" I'm teaching my son how to become a
Of course, they would have known who the Carthaginians were, but this is just for comedic effect.
warrior like me. Aw, well that's sweet. Well then, little guy, let's see what you got.
He's gonna murder him.
Good boy. As Hamilcar got to work fighting the tribes of Iberia and expanding Carthaginian influence, Hannibal became a child of war, even earning battle scars from a young age. And he grew to become a great military leader himself, making his...
Okay, so let me say one thing, though, about the representation, the graphical representation of... So far, it's really good, by the way, but this looks an awful lot like this. Right? It looks a lot like this. In fact, it is now not believed anymore that this is actually a statue of Hannibal Barca. This has been, the academic consensus has shifted. We used to think that this is was Hannibal Barca, but I don't think that this is a good image to use to create this, and it's clear that that's what they used. Even look, the helmet is identical. So no, that's not what Hannibal Barca would have looked like, and it is in fact more cautious, I would say, if I were them, or if I were to give them some suggestion, like if they were to ask me, not that they would have to, I mean, they're a fantastically successful channel, but I'm saying in a completely different life, if they were like, hey Metatron, how would you think we should represent him? I would tell them ditch the statue, and I would tell them use a coin, and we would have to actually retro-engineer it using coins that represent members of his family.